Hi guys, Auba and Alexis here. Just doing a quick Q&A. Obviously with the summer transfer window in place, there's not much other than transfers that we can talk about, so I thought I'd do a quick Q&A and answer a few of your questions. I've got a few coming in through Instagram that I've been answering. And yeah, let's get straight into them. Jonathan asked the first one, and he asked, do I think Ozil and Sanchez will stay at Arsenal? Personally, I think they will. I think over the coming month or so, we'll see Ozil commit his long-term future. I think I've been told that will happen. I hope that will happen. The quality that he has, we can't lose a player like him. And with Alexis Sanchez, it's still 50-50. It could go either way. I know a lot of newspapers reporting that he will be out of the club, but me personally, I can actually see him staying. I can see the likes of Lacazette and maybe Lemar coming in will really show him that this Arsenal club is all about intent, and we are looking to go to that next level. We know last year wasn't good enough, and the last few years haven't been good enough to be honest. So I do think they will stay. Whether Sanchez and Ozil will both sign new contracts is another thing to talk about. But I do believe that both players will be here next season, but we'll have to wait and see. But I do believe that will happen, yes. And the next one comes from Christian, and he asked, what was my favourite game at the Emirates Stadium that I've been to? A few live long in the memory, you have to admit. That AC Milan on 3-0. I know we lost on aggregate, but what a comeback that was, and it was nearly complete. The Barcelona 2-1, the Chelsea 3-0, United 3-0. But my all-time best game at the Emirates Stadium has got to be that Arsenal-Leicester 2 seasons ago, where Danny Welbeck scored that 95th minute header. I think at that moment, all fans in the stadium thought that there was a hope of winning the title, and none of us really felt like that in the last 12 years or so. So that has to be the best game I've been to. Obviously, nothing did come of it in the end. We didn't end up winning the league, like we all know happened. But what a game it was, and that atmosphere after we scored that winner was the best I've ever been a part in, and something that I really hope will emulate next season. And hopefully, we might bring the Premier League back to North London. But obviously, that's another matter. But we'll have to wait and see. But that is definitely my best game at the Emirates. I'd like to know what you guys think as well. Leave me your comments. And your best game in the comments below, because I'm sure we've all got our personal favourites. Another one comes in and saying, what's my favourite all-time non-Arsenal player? And what a question this is. There's been some greats over all years, and obviously I haven't seen all players or witnessed all players like the prime, lots of Pele, Maradona, obviously brilliant players, but for me I didn't really have a connection to those players. But I'll say a player that always stood out for me, not always the best player out there, but I always have to say David Villa was what a player he was, what a striker. For me, one of the most complete strikers in the recent era. So he's definitely got to be up there, and especially in Qatar. I think he last player obviously to win the Ballon d'Or other than Messi and Ronaldo, and the things he could do with the football hadn't really been seen, especially in the modern day and age. So I have to say those two are definitely up there for my favourite non-Arsenal players, because what players, but there's no really wrong answers. There's thousands of players, well not thousands, hundreds of players that you can pick from, and I'd love to know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below. Next one comes in and says, who would I rather keep, Ozil or Sanchez? I touched on this earlier. Obviously I think they both will stay, but you have to say Alexis is slightly more important to this Arsenal side. But both of them, I think if we lose one, the other one's performance will drop, and I would love to see them both stay, but if I had to pick, it would come down to Alexis. Isaac also asks, is Thomas Lemar a good enough replacement for Alexis Sanchez? Now, if Sanchez does leave, we have been linked with Thomas Lemar, and Lemar might come in anyway. And I do think Lemar's a fabulous player, and one that if he did come to the club would improve the standard of our quality. But good enough to replace Alexis Sanchez, that's a big ask, scoring over 30 goals last season, providing over 12 assists I think it was. So you'd have to say he's probably not the right replacement, but he's definitely someone that can improve this Arsenal side. And finally, our last one comes in from Prince Will, and he says, will Lacazette take us further next season? And you have to say he will. The formidable striker that's coming to this Arsenal side will really lead us as an attacking force next season. And when we need to break down all sorts of defences, Lacazette for me is that man. And how far will he take us? We'll have to wait and see, but definitely a title challenge is within our grasp. I think a few more additions and we'll definitely be there challenging on the final few days of the season. But I do think next season is going to be a big one for us and Arsene Wenger as a club. as the club knows, he's been under a lot of pressure and he does need to perform a real title challenge next year, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway guys, there are my questions and answers. I'll do another one of these later on in the transfer window. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of transfer movements between now and the end of that deadline, but obviously Lacazette coming in, we'll have to wait and see who comes in next. But yeah, come on you Gunners.